Well, just got back in time. It started raining, so although it's been quite warm today, it's been a funny all seasons in one day. It's one of those sort of days. One of those days you only get in the UK, really. Like I said, I was walking late today because I was busy early this morning, and then I got tied up with a few things. Then Richie got a call to go into work early. She was supposed to be going in at 2 o'clock, and she ended up going in at 11 o'clock. She's working through until after 8:30, I think, tonight. So, yeah. And as I was saying when I was out and about on the walk, I get concerned with the amount of wisdom I see out there regarding COVID-19. People seem to be relaxing their guard. The social distancing doesn't seem to be applying in every case now. When I get out and about, people seem to just be keeping, they're not being careful. I mean, basically, they're not being careful when they're going into the shops, the local shops. They're not being careful when walking about. They're forgetting. And it becomes a little bit of things are okay, the norm. And with the outbreaks that are happening out there currently, although we've been relatively okay so far, I'm just going to check our numbers now, see what they are. Might be a bit early still to see what they are today. The fact we're so far, our rate is still under 1. In other words, we're not doubling our infections every couple of days. For every person is infecting, they're infecting less than one person in effect. So the infection isn't growing. It's being sort of contained. But there are pockets where it is going up. Little areas where that is happening. And that's what I want to try and establish now. Let's just see. I'll get my app going here. We've I don't always listen to the news. United States, they're still getting their figures coming through. UK, 891 new cases, which is the same as it's been. That's thereabouts every day, really. The death figure hasn't come in yet for the UK. South Africa's hasn't come in either. Let me just look at the Philippines. Philippines has got 3,462 new cases in the last 24 hours. And they've had, where are we? 9 deaths. Their death rate is still quite low, still only over 2,200. Yeah, that's my concern. It's not so much now. It's as we get into the end of this month, we go into September, schools go back, and then we start going into the autumn, and it's that period of time when we start becoming risky. It's also the time of year when a lot of our trading. That's when that's when most companies make their money in the hospitality industry and the retail industry, of course. They build up for the boost that they're going to take over Christmas and New Year, be it hospitality and be it retail, and these are the two sectors that are being hit badly with COVID at the moment. Now, some are saying that if we're going to open the schools up come September, then we've got to have to close pubs, or close some of the pubs and restaurants, and do some counterbalancing of this situation there. So my camera was juggling then, I don't know why. Worrying, although we haven't seen any real, we've been unlocking sort of all kinds of things in the last year: health clubs, nail bars, hairdressers, gyms, and all kinds of things. And obviously the pubs and the restaurants have been going at it. Retail, non-essential retail has opened up as well. car showrooms, etc. So everyone is getting back to a normal kind of scenario. Sorry, when I said gyms, not all gyms have opened, no. Only outdoor gyms, as I understand it. So gyms, they put a hold on it, didn't they? Yes. They were due to open this week, and he stopped that. Yeah, and there's a lot of criticism about the track and trace system we're using. Is it adequate? Is it going to cope with the high demand it's going to be under come into the winter months, when we have a stronger intake of people going into hospital with influenza, because influenza is the one thing that is going to be another factor here. I've got a theory with this, and I hope I'm right, but my theory is with all the emphasis that's been placed on social distancing and hand washing and general that discipline, that in itself might actually reduce the normal influenza increase that we have in the winter months. So I'm sort of looking at it from an angle of, well, you know, if we've disciplined ourselves to be protecting ourselves against COVID-19, then it should also be to some extent protecting us from the influenza viruses that are going to be out there in the winter months. And that, in which case we shouldn't see them. That should come down. So the winter of influenza compared with last year's influenza, there should be a decrease. In theory, you would think so, wouldn't you? So I'm going to be looking at that very closely to see where we go. But I'm a little bit, what's the word? Frustrated. Yes, I mean, I'm frustrated, understandably. I mean, I understand why we've got all these measures and restrictions in place. But to get businesses moving, I mean, I'm supplying product from South Africa into a new business here in the UK this coming week, with there's 4 new retail branches opening just in next week alone. And I want to get stock into these branches, and it's taking its time coming through the system of the port and customs excise. But also the stores that were due to open, they've already been put back a few weeks, and it's a frustration that the company are having, because obviously it's a new business. It's very disciplined and very well focused, and you can see it's going to be a good business as it develops. I was hoping I'd have got round and seen a few stores already trading and open, and I'd want to take photographs of True Fruit in these stores to send back over to Evan in South Africa and show him what's going on. And these things are slow in just materializing. It's like, why is it, it's got to happen quicker. So but I'm not going to break down the barriers and put myself and put others at risk with this virus. Of course I'm not. Fortunately for that type of business, it comes under the essential retail anyway, because it sells food, it sells it sells non-food, but it sells food, and it sells toiletries and medicines, etc. as well. So it would remain open if there was a sort of a lockdown. But yeah, it's a bloody frustrating time we're having at the moment with getting things moving. And it doesn't apply to us only in the UK. It does apply. I know South Africa are finding it difficult with their production lines, and so is other countries I talk to, in particular the Philippines. Just getting around the Philippines is a major, major problem. As you know, we've got land we're trying to manage from the other side of the country, as it were, and we've just got things that we're trying to do over there, and we can't get done because of people they can't just, nobody can just get in their car and drive anywhere. They've got stricter conditions there than here. So they go from one province to another province. You've got to get special permission. And sometimes it's at the moment around Manila it's a serious lockdown. Duterte has locked it down, serious stuff, So we don't want to get messing with him in the process of trying to do a runner across the county with no. It's not worth it, We just can't do it because then we'll have family members being locked up for no reason other than trying to help me do something, do an errand, and then Richie would never forgive me. So we've got to sort those. Yeah, it's just frustrations we have at the moment. Here it's just the biggest frustration I've got in the UK, I suppose, all that is Sean's bloody mobile phone that doesn't work, so I can never get hold of him. I understand it's a frustration. I know when I had my phone problem, it was a major frustration. So I know that doesn't help. And then I'm also waiting with enthusiasm to see what Brian thinks of his noni capsules in South Africa as well. I'm also looking at the moringa that's being produced in South Africa. There is some conflicting costs in their leaflet that I see on pricing. They're extremely expensive on their pure 100% moringa liquid juice. In comparison, they're quite reasonable on their moringa tablets or capsules. Quite the opposite to noni. In this, noni, we are actually better priced with the juice than we are the capsule, because of the process in making capsules, in drying the fruit and grinding the fruits up and then putting it into capsule format and packaging it. The bottling process for the juice and the managing of the process is far easier. But in the case of moringa in South Africa, it seems to be the reverse. No, that could be a logical reason. But it does hit this country, in my view, still far too expensive for the market here, as will, I'm sure, any product that we would take down to South Africa at this moment in time. Anyway, talk to you again soon. Bye bye.